Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday segment of Divine Femininity United. I'm your girl, Dr. Bianca Mz Bee Lee, and we are here for our 12th chapter reading. We are on chapter 12, you all. We are really running through this book. We're moving at a beautiful pace because, like you already know, we do one chapter per gathering. It allows us to sit and marinate on what we're reading and things like that. We don't have to, we're not just reading the book just to be reading it. We're reading it for sustenance, to consume it, to really get it down into our nervous system, our mind, our heart, our spirits, our muscular system, to hold it into our being. That's what we're doing. Okay, learning new ways of being, learning our ways of being, our authentic, original ways of being, not what we've been conditioned to be. Hello, somebody. We're learning new ways, reconnecting with our authentic ways of being. We're reading the book Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender, written by the late, great, amazing, phenomenal Dr. David R. Hawkins. Listen, if you're familiar with this author and this doctor, his work, his body of work, then you are familiar with what we are going through. The journey that we're on right now is not just a journey of literature or a body of work. No, this is a journey to enlightenment. This is a journey of expanding and growing our consciousness, our awareness, our betterment for ourselves, expanding into who we truly are, dispelling the things that we have gathered since being here, the programming, the conditionings, and things like that, being told who we are versus aligning with who we truly are, right? This is a journey that we've been on. We started with the first book, his first book, Power versus Force. That book alone, oh my God. You all, if you don't have that book, let me know. I will send that book to you free of charge. Don't even worry about it. All I need is your email address and I'll get it over to you. You need that book. You need that book. I don't care what denomination, what religion you follow, you need that book. Okay. All righty. And again, we're on the next book, letting go, and we're going to be sticking with this author for quite some time. Believe that. Okay, believe it. And every single book that I have that I'm reading collectively with you all, I have it available to send to you, because there's no reason that I should have the book reading to you and you don't have the book to be able to refer to on your own time, to do your own due diligence, to read back over the chapter for yourself, to write in your notes and things like that for yourself. Whether you can journey with us collectively in real time or not, you could play it back or even just read it on your own. I don't care how you do it as long as you do it. Okay. Alrighty. With that being said, we are airing on multiple platforms on Clubhouse, on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. We're airing all over the place. So if there's something that I read today during this chapter reading and it resonates with you, do use the comment section, do use the chats and things like that. That's what it's there for. I will read it. I will give voice to your words and acknowledge you for sure. Okay. Thank you so very much for everyone who is here right now and those who will be coming, even those who are listening on the replay. Thank you for your presence, whether you're like again in real time or whether you're going to play it back. Either way, I thank you for your presence. I thank you for your time and sharing your energy. Okay. Now that the church announcements are done, okay, without further ado, here we go. Chapter 12, entitled Love. On the level of love, we are heartfelt, generous, nurturing, affectionate, steadfast, and forgiving. Love is protective, collaborative, uplifting, holistic, and gracious. It is characterized by warmth, gratitude, appreciation, humility, completion, vision, purity of motive, and sweetness. Love is a way of being. It is the energy that radiates when the blocks to it has been surrendered. It is more than an emotion or a thought. It is a state of being. Love is what we have become through the pathway of surrender. It is a way of being in the world that says, how can I be of help to you? How can I comfort you? How can I loan you money when you're broke? How can I help you find a job? How can I console you when you're suffering a major loss in your family? Lovingness is a way through which we light up the world. Next section, love in everyday life. Everyone has the opportunity to contribute to the beauty and harmony of the world by showing kindness to all living things and thereby supporting the human spirit. That which we freely give to life flows back to us because we are equally part of that life. Like ripples on the water, every gift returns to the giver. What we affirm in others, we actually affirm in ourselves. Once we become willing to give love, the discovery quickly follows that we are surrounded by love and merely don't know how to access it. Love is actually present everywhere. Its presence only needs to be realized. Love expresses itself in many ways. The little boy memorizes a ditty taught to him by his father, and he is still able to say it 80 years later. The Navy sailor steers the ship through a horrible typhoon for 3 days nonstop without food and drink when all of his shipmates are seasick. The doctor loves and prays for every patient without their knowing about it. The mother cleans up messy pants of a young man with diarrhea, saying, "Honey, it's not your fault. You couldn't help it." The wife gets up early to make coffee every morning, just the way her husband likes it. The doggy waits by the door for the owner to return and wags her tail when he comes through the door. The kitty purrs, the songbird sings. Typically, people think of love as romantic love, as in honey and sweetheart. But romantic love is only a mirror part of a human lifetime. There are many types of love other than personal romantic love, and they infuse our everyday experience. Love of pets, love of family and friends, love of freedom, love of purpose, love of country, love of attributes, love of creation, love as virtue, love as enthusiasm, love as forgiveness, love as acceptance, love as motivator, love as appreciation, love as kindness, love as essence of relationship, love as group energy. For example, Alcoholics Anonymous. Love as admiration, love as respect, love as valor, love as fraternal bonds of unity, like friends, classmates, shipmates, teammates. Love as friendship, love as loyalty, love as affection, love as cherishing, love as self sacrificing maternal love, love as devotion. Love is a many splendored thing, as the popular song goes. Experientially, this statement is true. When we have surrendered all of the resistances to love and let go of the negative feelings that block love, then the world is radiant with splendor of love. On the level of love, this radiance is no longer hidden from us. Next section, love heals. Love facilitates healing. It transforms life. We see this in the true story about a duck hunter who was suddenly changed by witnessing an act of love. One day, he was out duck hunting, which he often did for recreation. As per his usual experience, he saw a duck flying, shot it, and watched it fall to the ground, badly injured. To his sudden amazement, he watched as the female mate of the injured duck immediately flew down on top of her companion and spread her wings over him to shelter him. Seeing her love, the heart of a hunter was changed. He never hunted again. Once you become loving, there are certain things you can never do again. And there are certain things you can do in the energy field of love that are impossible otherwise. Moreover, people do things for you that they would not do for others. Love makes possible the miraculous without labeling it miraculous. Love has a transfiguring effect. Sometimes it is best not to tell people that you love them because they'll get scared and think that you have designs on them or you want something from them. Frankly, some people are afraid and suspicious of love. Therefore, you love such people without telling them. Lovingness is a way of being that transforms everything around you because of the radiation of that energy. It happens of its on its own. We don't have to do anything and we don't have to call it anything. Love is the energy that silently transfigures every situation. This means that people who are hateful will, in our experience, in our presence, suddenly become willing to forgive others. We can see the person transform right in front of us, letting go of anger. They might say, Well, there's no reason to be so mad at him. He's too young to know better. They will find an excuse to defend the person instead of attacking him. Love empowers us and the people around us to do the things that we would not be capable otherwise. Forgiveness is an aspect of love that allows us to see life events from the viewpoint of grace. We forgive ourselves for the errors we made when we were less evolved. It is helpful to see the ego or small part of ourselves as a cute little teddy bear. The teddy bear is not bad. We don't hate or scold the little bear. We love it and accept it for what it is, a cute little animal who doesn't know any better. We transcend the smaller aspects of ourselves by accepting and loving them. We see the ego as limited, not bad. In the energy field of love, we are surrounded with love, and that brings gratitude. We're thankful for our life and for all the miracles of life. We're thankful for the doggies and the kitties because they represent love. We are grateful for every act of kindness from others, their affection, caringness, and thoughtfulness. Eventually, we just become love. Everything we do and say, every movement we make, is energized by the lovingness that we have owned within our own selves. Whether speaking to a large audience or petting the dog, the energy of love is felt to be pouring out. We want to share what we hold in the heart as an experiential knowingness, and we hold it in the heart for everyone and everything, that they would be feeling it too. We pray for that inner experience of infinite love for everyone around us, including the animals. Our life is a blessing to everything around us. We acknowledge to others and to our animals the gift that they are to us. Love emanates from the heart. When we are in the presence of people who love each other, we pick up that energy. The love of our loved ones, pets, and friends is the love of divinity for us. When we go to bed at night, we give thanks that we were surrounded with love all day. Each moment is possible only because of love. The writing of this book is possible only because of love. In the state of love, we wake up every morning and give thanks for another day of life. And we seek to make life better for everyone around us. Because of the presence of love, things go better. The eggs get fried better. The ducky gets saved. The kitty gets fed. And the doggy is adopted from the pound and brought home. We share our love with everything around us, all forms of life, kittens, dogs, other people, all living things. Yes, even the villains. It is our job to watch over the captured villain. We seek to make his life tolerable. We say, I'm sorry that I have to hold a gun to your head, but that's my job. We try to be as gracious and generous as we can be without exception. The more we love, the more we can love. Love is limitless. Love begets love. This is why psychiatrists recommend having a pet. A dog, for example, brings love and expands love in the heart of the owner. Love prolongs life. In fact, research documents that having a dog extends the owner's life by 10 years. Just think of all the bizarre exercises, diets, and other regimens that people go through to add relatively small amounts of time onto their life when they can simply get a dog and add 10 years. Love has a powerful anabolic effect. Love increases endorphins, which are life enhancing hormones. You live 10 years longer with a dog in your life because a pet dog catalyzes the energy of love, and that energy of love heals and prolongs life. Energy of love has the capacity to heal our bodies when conditions are appropriate. On the physical level, because of the prevailing positive mental state, physical illnesses often resolve themselves. Some diseases automatically heal without any particular attention being paid to them, and those that still remain usually respond to consciousness techniques. Persistent illnesses that are unresponsive to treatment are viewed as karmically, symbolically, or spiritually significant. Overall, there's a decreasing awareness of the body, which now goes about its business and seems to take care of itself on its own. We are no longer identified as a body. There's a loss of interest in dealing with health matters on a purely physical level. And there are times when awareness of the body disappears altogether, unless we focus on it for some particular reason. Intuitive understanding progressively replaces thinkingness, which begins to disappear. Over time, thinkingness and its mental processes are replaced by spontaneous, intuitive knowingness. Logic is bypassed. This occurs because at the highest level of vibration, everything in the universe is connected with everything else. Our understanding unfolds as revelation from its interconnected field. The knowing is holistic rather than limited. Um, Interjecting here, I 100% understand and completely agree. Completely agree. The more to be, for me personally, the more that we read deep into these books and this different understanding, understandings, um, and I apply it, right? Because the very thing that I'm presenting to you all is the very thing that I'm putting myself in. Okay, so I'm doing this. This is why I do not ever read ahead of you all, because I want to gather the revelation along with you. I want to hold your hand along this journey together. Okay, because there may be revelation, which is why I open up the floors for you all to speak and share your insights, because together we can really help and assist. Number one, we can be aside by right by each other's side, but then we can really bring different aspects of the revelation about the matter, about the subject, about the the processing and things like that. We can do this together, which is what we're meant to do: hold each other hand, walking each other back to home, to our authentic, natural, original self. Okay, now, with that being said, being inside of the medical arena, where everything has to be an analytical, logical, evidence based, bat theory, all of those things. And a lot of the stuff that is being said or done or even practiced or whatever the case is being done based on old research and the grandfathers of psychology and things like that, handling things from the old concept of understanding, which is usually based on physiology, which is just the physical functioning of the body, um, behavioral, which is dealing with the behaviors of the person. They might deal with the emotions and things like that, but not once are they integrating the spirit of the person, which is the actual true self. Not once are they doing that. And that is why I absolutely love Dr. David R. Hawkins, because he was the one that bridged the gap. From what I see, I'm sure somebody probably did it prior to him, but in my understanding, from what I've been, exposed to, he bridged the gap and incorporated the spirit self. Actually, he focused on the spirit self mainly. Okay, he saw the outward manifestation of what the spirit was lacking, or what the person had not aligned with in their spirit self. I will say Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers, they worked with Abraham Maslow was behavioral theories, and Carl Rogers was the humanistic theory. Those were also two. Some, especially Carl Rogers, was based upon like a heart to heart, spirit to spirit type of connection, not doctor patient. You know what I'm saying? Human to human, right? Understanding and connectivity. And then you have Dr. Hawkins, David R. Hawkins, the author here, who incorporated really dove deep into aligning with the higher self, right? Which to me is also a part of wellness. It is a part of wellness. It is a part of health and wholeness. That's what I gathered from it, you know. And I argued that when I was, working on dissertation and things like that. I argued that, incorporating and bridging that gap right now in today's medicine, because today's medicine, we all know, only suppresses. It does not rid, it does not actually heal. In fact, if alternative medicine such as Reiki, meditation, yoga, you know, let me see, what's another, breath work and things like that, if they were to be taken more serious, acupuncture and all of those things, those are considered alternative medicine, holistic medicine. It's not so much, it's not widespread respected in the medical arena because it's not evidence based and it's not backed by measurable gauged, results, which is problematic because things spiritually don't even it transcends the mind, the mental thinking. We know that the even in scripture it says that the things of the spirit are foolish to the people of the world. You cannot conceptualize or analyze spiritual workings. You can't. You just have to have a knowing, like he said in this book here. He went from when you're operating in love, your intuitive understanding progressively replaces thinkingness. It's not about thinking. I take some of my clients through guided meditations where I'm walking them through their own inner data tower, control tower, where they go inside of themselves in this guided meditation and they unplug from the mind and plug to the heart and transfer those plugs from the mind over to the heart. And Sensei Nine said this in an interview that he had months ago with Wayne Clapp, where he stated, you have to lose your mind to find your heart. You have to lose your mind to find your heart. Most often, if we try to go at spiritual things with our analytical brain, we will miss it. We'll miss it because there's no way in the world that a big vastness of creation can be fit in your human brain that you only had access to from the moment you were born into this realm. It can only hold so much. In fact, the vastness of you and who you are and how you are, your bigness, your infiniteness is way too big to fit all of that inside of your human being. Your beingness, your body cannot hold all of that and be okay on this realm. Not at all. So that's why we had to pretty much dumb down in coming into this realm and start from scratch. We had to start from a beginning, a day one. And then as we journey through life, slowly but surely align ourselves with our true selves. But first, because this world is very, very conditioning, okay, we have to undo and purge what we were told to become and align and reconnect, remember who we truly are, who we are as a being before taking on this human body. That's the goal in this life. And then ultimately be your higher self at the capacity that you can in this realm, because we'll never be able to take on our full self in this limited body, in this limited realm. It's so limiting. It's so limiting. There are certain things that your actual true self can do and want to do, but because it's tethered to this very, very limiting body, it can't do. Not in this existence. Now, after this existence, oh, you can be your whole self. Okay? Your whole self. I very much so look forward to that, to be perfectly honest. And I often think about those who have gone, and them knowing that they're experiencing their bigness once again. And that's like, oh my goodness, congratulations. Man, congratulations, because they get to be in the vastness of love as it is. they get to return back to oneness with love in its infinity, oneness with peace and bliss, oneness with joy and happiness in its infinity, not having limitations. They get to experience the no pain, because pain only exists in this realm. in this existence. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. So I'm talking about dancing for joy for them all, including my son, my ancestors, who's visited several times. You know what I'm saying? But dare not stay. Dare not stay. I listen, they're very wise, okay? There's nothing here. All right? Except for opportunities to love. And in that loving, the more we love, the more we remember, the more we reconnect. Love, even by way of our thoughts, even by way of our feelings. Love. This life right here has nothing to do with your title, has nothing to do with your status, your money, what you're driving, what labels you're wearing, how many diamonds. It has nothing to do with any of those things. It has everything to do with how you love. How you love you and how you love others. And through that love, you evolve and more, instant after instant, moment after moment, choice after choice of love, you align with you. That's the beauty of what this is. But it's not being taught. No, because agenda rings louder, unfortunately. Okay, back in the book. Because of the inner quiet, we have the ability to perceive the thoughts and feelings of others on a nonverbal level. Nonverbal communication with others become possible and commonplace. Negative emotions are no longer experienced because the small self, the little self, human self, has been transcended, absorbed into the greater, higher self. Emotional phenomena are thereby transformed. Loss, for example, loss, like as in losing something, losing someone, for example, is experienced as transitory disappointment or regret rather than a grief. Exactly. Next section, unconditional love. By continual surrender, we experience the state of unconditional love, which calibrates at 540 on the scale of 1,000. Okay, 0 being death, 1,000 being the highest form of human capability of enlightenment, which the only three beings in history that has reached that level of 1,000 in enlightenment is Christ, Krishna, and Buddha. Now, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, they've reached 700, which is the lower level of enlightenment, but it's enlightenment nonetheless. They reached 700 prior to passing, transitioning on. Power versus Force, the book that we read prior to this, calibrated at 800 and over. Level of enlightenment, for sure. Okay, so it is attainable, and that's my goal. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I know that I can transcend 1,000 even when I transition out of this life. My desire while in this life is to reach a level of enlightenment. They've already proven that it can be done. And I'm going to do that while in this life. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I know what I am after this. So I know that's going to be home. I'm going to be back home. I'm not even concerned about if I'll reach enlightenment. No, I will transcend that level once I get there or when I return home. I want to experience it. I want to experience my enlightenment, a level of my enlightenment, while being in this existence. And then from that, pour. I want to pour. I want to pour on so many people from that level of enlightenment before leaving this life, this iteration, this avatar, this body, this role of Bianca. You know what I'm saying? I really want to. And I will. And I will. Back to the book. Unconditional love, which calibrates at 540, which is rare and occurs in only 0.04% of the population. You see what I'm saying? This energy is miraculous, inclusive, non selective, transformative, unlimited, effortless, radiant, devotional, saintly, diffuse, merciful, and selfless. It is characterized by inner joy, faith, ecstasy, patience, compassion, persistence, essence, beauty, synchronicity, perfection, surrender, rapture, vision, and openness. We relinquish seeing the personal self as a causal agent. Everything happens effortlessly by synchronicity. Joy emanates from the inner subjective experience of our own existence. The power of the joy is subjective, not stemming from any source outside of um, oneself. Thus, the energy of motor performance is exhaustible. We may dance with ecstasy all night in a candlelit chapel, as if being danced by the source, as if being danced by the source of life itself. In that state, the innate perfection and stunning beauty of all that exists shine forth like a luminous radiance. As the infusion of spiritual energy facilitates the transfiguration from perception to vision, from the linear to the nonlinear, and from the limited to the unlimited, while functioning in the world is still possible at the higher vibrations of love, which is the high 500s, we may end up leaving the ordinary arena of commerce and abandoning our prior social melee and occupations. It's true. I did twice, actually. I left from music and entertainment to beauty, and from beauty, where I was well known, very well known, to psychology, to spiritual counsel, to mentorship, to helping in the community by way of my nonprofit organization. Absolutely. Your whole view changes and it turns to how can I be there for others? How can I love others? That's the question. How can I show up for others? How can I do more for others? How can I, that's what it goes to. The more you align with your higher vibration, your higher self, the more you vibrate at that love level and higher, oh please. Absolutely. It turns into how can I love more? How can I perfect my loving today? In such states, the miraculous is common. Exactly. What in terms what is termed as supernatural is seen to occur all the time, inexplicable by reason, logic, or cause and effect. It is clear that no person performs miracles. They occur spontaneously on their own when conditions are appropriate. The development of a spiritual ego is avoided by the realization that the phenomena are a gift from beyond our personal self. We are only the channels of love, not its origin. Spiritual progress is known to be the result of grace, not the result of our personal endeavors. Gratitude for the state replaces pride of accomplishment. Yes, the process of surrender continues ever more deeply as we let go of all doubt, all belief systems, all perceptions, all positions, all opinions, and all attachments. We become willing to surrender all attachments, even attachment to the exquisite state of ecstasy, which is beyond description. Out of humility, all opinions about others are surrendered. In a certain way, nobody can help being other than what they are. Yeah. We talked about that in the last chapter, which is acceptance. Love knows this truth and takes no position, right? I remember with Iyanla Vanzant, she was on a panel with Jason Lee and another young man, and they were being interviewed by Cuomo. Okay. And Chris Cuomo, I believe that's his name, on his show right after the Diddy Cassie abuse video came out, was leaked. And he invited her on there, Iyanla, he invited her on there to hear her view and her take psychologically, you know what I'm saying, or even spiritually. And so he says his first question was, so Iyanla, what is your opinion about what took place on the video and what you saw? Her response, which I absolutely love, and of course, the world, society dragged her for it. I understood 100% where she was coming from. He said, "What is your opinion about what you witnessed?" She says, "I have none." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." That's why she is yay. Okay. I have no opinion. I have no opinion. I have zero opinion. None whatsoever. And that's what love is. Love says, love knows what it is. Love knows the truth. Love does not take a position at all. Because at the end of the day, guess what? Diddy needs love too. He deserves love too. So does Cassie. So does everybody involved. Because everybody was affected in some way. If that was the behavior of him, then it's clear that is something in him that's going on that deserves, that needs love. It is clear. If that's the action and behavior that he's taken, this is not the time for opinions. This is the time for love. Because what happened, what's in you that's devoid of love that caused you to not love this lady? See, if you don't have love, if you don't feel love, if you don't display, if you have not been given love, you don't know how to show love. Hello. The term misery loves company. That's what that is. I'm broken, so I break. I'm hurting, so I hurt. I'm depressed, so I depress. Right? I'm harmed, so I harm. That's what that is. And her opinion was, without even having an opinion, what she stated was, he needs love. How are we collectively, instead of getting on this panel, dogging him out and talking about how disgusting his behavior was? Because we all saw it, we know. But the discussion should be, how can we love him? Now, love is not gonna, it's not saying I condone. Love is saying I love. Let's love him. Let's love him. Love him. Love him back to health. That's what that is. Same thing with R. Kelly. I have no opinion. What I do have is love. That's what I have. There's something in him that lacked love, which is why he gave out what he gave out. Period. Even for Cassie, something in her lacked love, which is why she considered what she was given to be under the umbrella of love. That's why she took it, and that's why she stayed as long as she did. Everybody needs love. That's what everybody needs, right? That's what that is. We can bandage all day long, but the reason I chose the type of psychology that I'm in is because I want to get down to the seed of why it occurred. Let's get down there. See, the abuse is the byproduct of the why. That's the what. I see the what. We're going to address the what, but we first got to get to the why so that another what doesn't occur. Hello, somebody. The why is the seed, the genesis. Where did it begin? Where was the love lacking? Who did not pour the love inside of you? And then once we identify the who didn't pour the love, then now let's talk to this individual and ask them, why didn't they pour the love? And then we'll come to find out they didn't pour because they didn't have it to pour. Hello. Come on now. It began somewhere. And I can guarantee you, getting down to the bottom of it, there was a lack of love somewhere. All right? But love takes no position. It has no opinion. Love arguments the positive about others rather than their defects. Exactly. Love augments the positive about others rather than their defects. It focuses on life's goodness in all of its expressions. Unconditional love is a love that doesn't expect anything from others. When we have become loving, we have no limitations or demands on others that they should be a certain way in order to be loved. Hello. We love them no matter how they are, even if they are obnoxious. We feel sorry for the criminals that they saw a life of crime as their best option. What happened? What happened? Why was this your option? Why was this your only choice? Where was the void? And how can we love that void back to being filled so that the option is removed completely? When love is unconditional, there's no attachment, no expectation, hidden agenda, or bookkeeping of who gives what to whom. Our love is unconditional for whatever we are and whatever they are. It is given without requirements. No strings are attached. We don't expect anything back when giving. We have surrendered all conscious and unconscious expectations of the other person. Love illuminates the essence of and therefore the lovability of others. This is because love opens the heart. Instead of perception, which perceives, the heart knows. Instead of perception, which perceives, the heart knows. The mind thinks and argues, but the heart knows and continues. So even when people make mistakes, we love them. Thoughts tell us one thing, but the heart tells us something else. The mind can be critical and disagree, but the heart is loving no matter what. The heart does not put any conditions on what's out there. Only the mind does that. Love makes no demands. A key to making love unconditional is the willingness to forgive. With forgiveness, events and people are recontextualized as simply limited, not bad or unlovable. With humility, we are willing to relinquish our perception of a past event. We pray for a miracle to see the truth about the situation or a person, and we surrender all of our opinions about the matter. We look at the payoff we're getting from keeping our perceptions of what occurred, and we let go of each little payoff. The pleasure of self-pity or being right or being wronged, and of our own resentments. Eventually, we surrender the very idea of forgiveness. To forgive someone implies that we're still seeing the person or situations as wrong and therefore in need of being forgiven. True surrender means letting go completely of seeing it in such a way. When we surrender our perception completely, letting go of all judgment, then the whole situation is transfigured and we see the person as lovable. Since all judgment is really self-judgment, since all judgment is really self-judgment, we have liberated ourselves in the process. Come on. On the level of unconditional love, we love everybody and everything, even Adolf Hitler. We look at him as a person who was taken over by negative energies, and we're willing to forgive Hitler, who wouldn't help what happened to him, who couldn't help what happened to him. He was overcome by evil. Instead of hating evil, we feel sorry and compassion. That person have been overwhelmed by such negativity. Hitler did what he thought he was required to do by honor. That was his contextualization at the time. He was captured by certain ideals and beliefs current in his time. Even with Hitler then, we can see that he was dedicated and he thought that he was being of service in what he did. In World War II, the kamikaze pilots were doing what they thought they should be doing for their country. And even though they were trying to bomb and kill us, it isn't necessary to hate them. We can respect their willingness to give up their life for their country. We can see that everybody who violates the love of law or the law of love is really a victim of some societal belief system or the pressures of the time. That is it. That's it. That is it right there. Next section, oneness. As the state progresses, all of existence takes on a different meaning, and we become aware of the inner beingness and essence of everything rather than just its form. Because of this change of perception, the perfection of all things stands revealed. This experience is outside of time. There is no past or future. In this highest vibration, love sees no separation between the individual and the rest of the universe. We experience total at oneness with all things. In this state, the total oneness of all things has a greater sense of reality than the ordinary perceptions of the self in this world, and it can only be described as profound. As the inner shifts occur, our lifestyle may or may not show a change to the external observer. However, habits and behavior, although they may appear to be the same, are no longer compulsive or driven. They can often be dropped, altered, or changed without undue discomfort. On the other hand, there may indeed be sudden changes in lifestyle, including major shifts in vocation because of the change of inner values and expansion of interest and vision. Now that we are connected to a greater dimension, there may be an immersion in it through contemplation, meditation, art, music, movement, reading, writing, teaching, and participation in spiritual groups with similar objectives. Letting go now becomes more automatic and continuous. Periods of inner stillness and beauty begin to occur with greater frequency and duration. These may occur at a very profound level. Oddly, they may follow episodes of great inner turmoil and struggle. These periods of intense inner work occur because we can no longer tolerate negativity. Now that we have greater power of consciousness, we are able to reach down and handle problems at the deepest levels of consciousness. These may be such problems as those concerning the source of our identity or our concept of ourself. Breakthroughs of great serenity and peace may also occur after prolonged periods of continual surrender, as seen in the following example. At one point, being in a state of constant joy, an event occurred which brought to awareness a conflict that stemmed from the deepest way in which we can relate to others. It was difficult to look at and experience out, but because the prevailing state had so much high energy to it, it was possible to let the inner conflict come up and let it run its course to be resolved once and for all. It ran for 10 solid days, unceasingly. And for that period of time, the approach was to surrender constantly the conflict and let it go without trying to alter it in any way. For a while, the inner conflict seemed as if it would be unending. However, previous experience with the surrender process had confirmed that every feeling sooner or later runs out if we just keep letting it go. Moving temporarily to a small cabin in the middle of the woods intensified the process because there were no other distractions. Then the source of the conflict deepened, and even more painful feelings came up in full force. There was a great deal of inner turmoil, at times almost agony and despair. Determined not to give up or allow a block in the flow of the process, finally, the bottom of the pit was reached, and up came black despair of overwhelming intensity. In spite of this, there was the knowing that everything would be okay, because the primary identification was not with the despair, but with the surrendering itself. Finally, all of the resistance to the despair was totally and completely let go. Instantly it vanished. The despair, which had been overwhelming and nearly unbearable, vanished in an instant. In its place, there was a profound peace beyond description. It was infinite in its dimension, curiously powerful and totally unassailable. There was a profound inner stillness, and all perception of time stopped. Instead of time, there was only the motion of the phenomena of the world occurring. The next day, the experience continued and, in fact, was even stronger. Then, out of curiosity, there was a re entry into the world to see what it would be like to experience ordinary life from this state of consciousness. Even while walking down Fifth Avenue in New York City, the same profound profound stillness, harmony, and peace prevailed. This pervasive peace and stillness seemed to underlie all of the superficial chaos, noise, and confusion of the city. It was as though the power and strength of that dimension of stillness was the power that enabled it to happen and held it all together in one continuous unity. Within the essence of that stillness was unlimited power. And it was clear that it was this very power that counteracted and balanced the collective negativity of the city. As without, so within. Similarly, it was clear that this same cohesive power is that which so counterbalances the negativity of the personality. If unopposed, that negativity would destroy the person and the body with it. We said in previous sections that the lower emotions are associated with an accumulation of energy in the lower energy centers of the body called the chakras. As our consciousness rises due to the letting go of negativity, this energy tends to rise to higher centers so that at the level of love, the energy has moved up to the heart chakra. As love becomes unconditional and ever joyous, the personal dimension of love gives way to universal love. In general, we say of a person who has reached the level of love that they are big-hearted or all heart. This phrase expresses the shift of interest and focus of the person's life to that which is loving. This upward shift of focus is accompanied by an overall change of perception, a different point of view than that which characterizes the focus of attention of a person who is involved in the negative emotions. For example, when a person is in a lower state of mind, an old gentleman carelessly dressed standing on a corner would be perceived as a bum. With that characterization goes other negative thoughts such as, he might be dangerous, let's avoid him. He's costing us taxpayers. He's probably on welfare. The police ought to clear the streets of such derelicts. He should be in jail or in a mental hospital. By contrast, the person who is in a loving state might well see him as an interesting person whose face reflects a lot of life experience, character, and wisdom. He might appear as a liberated soul who has pretty much finished with the world and has evolved into beingness beyond doingness and havingness. Okay? Meaning he's not attached to anything, no money, he's free of all of that stuff that weighs our race down most of the time. That's good. There was an encounter with just such a man on Fifth Avenue, while in that state of total inner stillness described above. While walking down the sidewalk, the old gentleman perceived that state of inner stillness with one glance, and in return, he became totally open. The eyes gazed widely, such that nothing was hidden, and the soul became completely open to be read. It was apparent that he was a man who had realized his own true inner higher self and was totally at peace. He was, in fact, part and parcel of that powerful, positive, loving energy that was holding the city together. With that glance, we shared our oneness, our timeless oneness. Though strangers, our souls were united and resounded with each other. The one higher self radiated forth. That oneness was the energy counteracting the total negativity of New York City at that moment. In our open gaze, there was a cosmic oneness that calibrates as true. There was an all-silent knowingness that the oneness reflected in infinite energy that was counterbalancing the total negativity of New York City at the time, because the power that was shared was infinite. Without counterbalance, the city would self-destruct. It was a silent, prevailing, infinite state of consciousness. It was a profound moment in which one of the laws of consciousness was experientially verified, which is love is the ultimate law of the universe. That statement calibrates at 750. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness, you all. That's it. That's the end of that chapter. Man. And if you read Power versus Force, then you would understand the calibration and how he stated that it calibrates at 750. 700, like I stated, is the level of enlightenment. That's the beginning level of enlightenment. That statement right there that he stated, calibrated at 750, which states not only is it true, it sits in enlightenment. That is awesome. That is awesome. We are here in this life to perfect our loving. We are here in this life to perfect our loving. Every morning, that first 30 minutes, even if you got to set your clocks to get up earlier, the first 30 minutes, when you're sitting back on the side of your bed and you're kind of getting your mind, calibrated to the day, and you're waking up and all of those, while you're in that first 30 minutes, really, 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 really focus yourself. Affirm yourself, affirm your day. Sit in gratitude for a great night's rest, for the day to prove yourself to the world as a loving being, to show and demonstrate your love to others. That in them 30 minutes, you say and ask self, how can I change someone's life today? How can I show and display love at its highest level today? How can I love me today? What can I do for my family today? How can I display love to my family today in a major way? Every single day of this life is to learn how to perfect our loving in every way. When we see someone else, no matter who they are, I know oftentimes we make the mistake of growing far too familiar with our familias, okay? Because this is our family, this is our friend. Oh, that's that's nobody but. We like to minimize them because they're our familials, when they're the main ones that should be getting a huge chunk of your true, indefinite, infinite, expanded love. They should feel your love automatically every day because they are familiar with you. The question to ask self is what am I making people familiar with in me? What do I display? And I have made people familiar with that display. What is it? This is not to beat self up, because we don't do that here, right? We're learning, we're growing, we're evolving, we're expanding, we're elevating. That's what we're doing. We're not being ashamed and guilt and all of that. That doesn't live here. Embarrassment, we don't do that. We love ourselves entirely too much to allow those energies to sit in us. Oh no. Because to allow that is not love. Not at all. Okay, so what we do is, even when we slip, because we will slip, become aware of the slip, correct it, and then receive the lesson in it, because there's always a lesson in everything. But do all of this with love, from love, in love, as love. For sure. If you know that you've thought something, because I know we can go off the doing and the act and the behavior, right? Because that's evidence. Like that was done. We can see that, feel that, or whatever. But what about the negative thoughts that you have about yourself and about other people that they may not know about, but you do? I had to correct myself. Was it 2 days ago? 2 or 3 days ago. I looked at a young lady, and it was a certain outfit she had on. And in my mind, the first thing I thought and said out of my mouth was something about her outfit. Very minor, but still nonetheless. It wasn't love. It was more judgment and criticism than anything. And immediately when I said it out of my mouth, I said, oh. I said, see there, see, that's not love. That's not love. We love here. So automatically, immediately, my higher self stepped in and said, get yourself together. Right there you just showed that you just became aware of the remnants that need to be matured inside of you. Not to beat myself up, because I don't live in condemnation at all. Not at all. But I did get that lesson. I said, okay. Ooh, I said, yep. Okay. I said, I asked myself for forgiveness. And then I sent energy to that young lady. I said, young lady, she was gone at that point. But regardless, we're energetic beings. She's an energetic being. I'm an energetic being. So energetically, I sent her my apology. She might not have been conscious of it, but I sent it. Her spirit is aware. And I said, sis, my apologies. You did not deserve that. You were simply walking down the street. And I love you. I love you. You are beautiful. Boom. So reversed it, got the lesson, applied the lesson. There it is. All from love. In love, as love. That's what this is. That's what this is, man. We got enough divisiveness. We got enough in the middle of a whole election, which is pure division, 100%. And we get so sucked up in it easily. We watch these divisive television shows, all of these reality shows where they're doing nothing but arguing and dividing and clicking up and all of this stuff. And we wonder why we display it in our own lives. Family division for years on years, holding grudges for years, don't even know what we mad about still. Okay. Divisiveness. Oh, y'all think y'all better. Oh, who y'all think y'all are? And whoop, 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 whoop. Nah, I don't mess with them because, I heard we're surrounded by it. We're surrounded by it. The sooner we become love and be it, display, operate, move, breathe from it. And we all do that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the power that would be emanating from this planet if we all did that? Align with the love that we are. But in order to align with the love that you are, you have to connect. You have to know the love that you are. You have to reconnect to that love that you already are. You just simply forgot it. That's it. You forgot. You forgot who you are. That's why the very first question that I ask to any new client intake, my first question is, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Tell me who are you? Who are you? And once I get that answer, I know then which direction to go into with their sessions. I only keep a client for a year, with the exception of one. I have one client that's just, they on my hip. For good reason, but they're on my hip nonetheless. Only one. But every other client, I only keep them for a year. The reason is because my job is not only to, again, I don't deal with the what, I deal with the why. Once I get to the seed of the thing that brought you into my office, my services, from there, now my goal is to make you remember. Remember what? Remember you. Remember the things of you. Reconnect, remember, realign, reset yourself, for yourself, as yourself. After 1 year, and I did what I do, you don't need me anymore, because you now have you. And in you, you're connected to the pool of answers, unlimited pool of answers. You don't need me anymore. You've just realigned with you. That's enough. I'm telling you. Oh, yeah. So, in essence, I'm a memory coach. I help you to remember you. And in remembering you, you pour that onto the world as only you can, because there's only one you. Why waste your life in being someone else? There's only one you. Don't rob the world and this existence of the you that you are. Be you, your whole higher self. Be you. Be you. Give us you. Love us from you. And we'll do the same. Okay? All righty. I have a message that I wanted to give, and I'm going to be doing this from now on, starting today, just to pour into you all. And the message for today is: the world needs your happiness. A life of suffering or unhappiness and a life deprived of the things you most want does not help the world. But your happiness, your abundance, and your life lived to the fullest uplifts the entire world. The world needs your happiness. Give us you. Give us you. And the whole of us will be uplifted. Okay? All right. That concludes today's session. On Tuesday, we will go over chapter 13, which is entitled Peace, which I absolutely love. You already know, if you do not have this book, reach out to me, send me your email address, and I will forward the book over to you, and any other book that we've read before, and you want the copy of. It is a PDF version, ebook version of the book. Um, or you feel free to purchase it on your own, if you want it. Some people like the nostalgia of holding a book. That's perfectly fine. But if you want the ebook version, you can get it for me free of charge. You don't have to pay for it or whatever the case. Now, I am a 501c nonprofit organization, and you are able to send donations for the work that we do in the communities and things like that. Not just here in Georgia, but we have served other states. Okay. Feeding and housing and clothing and all of those things. We do that year round. Okay. So if you want to help, you can do that. You can do that by emailing me, requesting the book, and other more information. I'll send that over to you in any form, whatever you want. Okay. Email me at info@biancamzbeelee.com, or you can visit the website at biancamzbeelee.com. You could even, there's a link. If you go to this website, there's a tab that says Beyond the Scenes, which is the nonprofit organization. Beyond the Scenes Community Effort. That is the organization. You can click there. You'll be able to see all of the programs that we do. And at the very bottom of that page, you'll see Join the Mission. And you'll see an option where you can donate. You can do a one-time donation, or you can do a consistent, recurring. It's up to you. You set it up however you need to set it up over there, okay? But every one of your seeds are welcome. We're gracious. We're grateful for it, and we help a lot of people, a whole lot of people. Okay, alrighty. Listen. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of the social media apps. It's all under Dr. Bianca Mz Bee Lee. And you'll be able to follow and see everything that I have going on, that we have going on, or whatever the case. Also, right now, you all, listen, if you have duffel bags, luggages, and things like that you're about to get rid of or want to get rid of, instead of taking it to Goodwill, no this against Goodwill, but they're only going to put a price tag on it and sell it. Instead of doing so, there is a lack of resources and bags and luggages at the orphanages, okay, at the adoption agencies and things like that. There are many children that are being relocated from one house to the next, to the next, to the next, and they're having to do so having grocery bags, plastic bags. And what we want to do is assist them in having a sense of dignity. You know what I'm saying? They're already in a tumultuous situation as is. All right. So help us out. And from where you are, you don't have to send it this way at all. There could be local adoption agencies and orphanages in your local area. If you have a duffel bag or backpack or, luggages and things like that, and you want to give it away, go over to the agencies near you and give them your baggages and things like that, so that the children there can have an easier transitioning, you know, time. It's already a trying, emotionally trying situation, okay, and mentally. But to have to do it, by way of grocery bags and things like that, or having to leave stuff behind because you don't have enough room in your bag to take things and whatnot. So, let's help the children out, okay? We are stronger together, you all. We're stronger together. So help them out, okay? Alrighty, you all, listen. I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely positively nothing you can do about it. Don't you even try it. We'll be back here in 2 days, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at Divine Femininity United. Peace.